Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're using newspaper to combine two hives into one. Had a quick look in one of our hives and there's no queen and there's a queen cell in there. So my idea is to squash that queen cell because it's a really small cell, and we're going to put it on top of a hive that's doing well. Hopefully they combine into one super colony, and then we could probably split it from there later on in the season. Right, let's go have a look and see what we can find. Hopefully we can do this successfully. It was warm about half an hour ago. The weather seems to be changing, so we're going to try and get this done nice and quickly. Right, let's go and have a look. Suited and booted, hopefully we can't take any stings now. Let's go attack the queenless colony. This hive is doing absolutely fantastic. So is this one. So is that one. You can see they're all super active, apart from this one here. And this is the one that doesn't have the queen in. So it's a little bit of a telltale sign that something's not quite right. There are some flying bees, but not as many as I would have hoped. Let's take the roof off this. Yeah, so these bees aren't being very nice. And it's understandable because they don't have a queen. So I did put a frame of brood in this colony from the hive that we're going to combine it with last week. The idea was that they would raise their own queen, but I've been in today and the queen cell just isn't big enough or good enough, and I think it's going to fail. There's lots of bees in here, but they would be a pretty good colony. So let's combine it and have one super colony instead. So this is the frame of brood I put in from the other colony with the idea that they would raise their own queen, and here you can see they've made a queen cell. It is very small, and I'm not sure if I want to risk the whole colony on that one small queen cell. So I think the smart thing to do, hopefully, is to combine this with the other hive, have one super hive, and then make a split later in the season with a mated queen. You can probably see they are quite flighty, and yeah, they're not the happiest bees, I don't think. Sadly, we're gonna have to crush this queen. I'm sorry. It is important that there isn't any queen cells on this, because if we put this with a queen cell into another hive, then it could be disastrous. The queens could fight and we could potentially kill the queen in our good colony. Okay, let's get our hive prepared, and then we're gonna put this on top. Doesn't look like there's too many bees in the top of here, so that should actually work to our advantage. Let's use our trusty newspaper. This is the first time that I'm doing this. The idea is we lay some newspaper on top of the good Queenright hive. What I'm gonna do is cut some little slits. So the idea behind cutting slits into the newspaper is just to slowly allow the pheromones from the hive underneath to transfer into the Queenright hive. So this is going to be tricky without it blowing away. Let's grab our heavy box and pop it on. Just going to pop this back on top because it's got some bees on it. Triple brood hive. Now, bottom box absolutely packed full of bees and full frames. This box is mostly foundation. My idea was that they were going to expand into this, draw it out, and we can do some splits. And now they've got another colony of bees on top. So hopefully next week, once these have combined successfully, we can remove this box off the top and maybe put a super on and get some honey. Okay, so it's been a week. We're gonna go back to the hive and see if the two colonies have merged into one. I think our smoker's going. That should keep the bees calm-ish. We didn't really use the smoker last year, but I'm gonna try and get in the habit of using the smoker a bit more. So, got a queen excluder on the top, and I'm just having a look at the bees here. I'm trying to see if I can tell the, I mean, it is hard to tell because the queen does lay so many different types of bees. But this one does look a bit darker than this one. So hopefully that means that they've managed to integrate together peacefully without a big bee war. Yeah, there's not many bees up here either. So I think let's get this box off and out of the way to start with. No, that's not going to work. Okay. Oh, so they mustn't have gone through here because they doubled up the newspaper there. That must have been folded over. Oh God, come on. So you can see they've chewed through here. So I'm guessing that's enough. Hopefully we're not inspecting too early. Okay, yeah, they're still working on drawing out these frames. Yeah, so I think we can condense this down easily into a double brood. Nice fresh comb they've drawn out. Wow, lots of larvae in that one. They're quite calm as well. Yes, Colonies doing well. Very impressive. More foundation. I can't remember why there's so much foundation all just scattered around everywhere. There are some dead bees on the bottom. Whether that's the collateral damage, I don't know, from the bees fighting potentially. Oh, it's a heavy frame of stores. Let's leave this in the bottom here. Not actually a great number of bees on in this hive. I actually thought there'd be more. Just going to scrape that drone brood off. Yeah. Oh, here she is. There's our queen. So she survived our 2 hives combining into 1. She looks happy. That's good news and good to see. Let's pop her back in gently in there. So we know she's there. We can relax a little bit and we can go through our frames, and we're just going to combine into a double brood. So a frame of pollen. Camera lady suggested this earlier actually, that the pollen frames tend to be the frames closest to the entrance. I hadn't really noticed that before, but it does seem to be true. It's got a lot of larvae in it. Okay, so that's our bottom box sorted. So that's a stores frame. Let's pop that on the back. Okay, so we can only fit another frame in, so let's I think I'll give him another frame of stores. I was considering putting a super on, but I don't think there's enough bees in there. I'm going to get them to draw out this double brood box first. They don't seem to be coming up into the feeder that much. I got a few of these Ashforth feeders, but to be honest, so far, I haven't found them that great. The bees don't tend to come up. I don't know if that's me, if I'm doing something not quite right. Try and encourage the bees to come up and find it. I tried to avoid getting it all over my gloves. Okay, so there we go. We had a look in our triple brood colony that we combined last week, and yeah, not as many bees as I can remember. Maybe they did have a little bit of a fight between the 2 colonies, but by the looks of it, the queen's still alive. They're doing well. Condense them back down to a double brood. Hopefully next week it's nice and laid up with a lot of brood. Now I have got 5 queens coming from BS honeybees next week, and my plan was to make some splits. I was hoping there would be a bit more brood in that colony and a few more bees. Hopefully there is enough by the time the queens come next week. If not, we're gonna have to go to some other colonies and try and find enough bees from them. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried that I've ordered too many queens for the bees I've got, but that'll be in the next episode. But thanks for watching. If you stayed this long, I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next episode. I think there's a bee on my head. You're on.